Stewart claimed that what Putin said was Poland was at fault for starting World War II. When the clip they showed was Putin saying the Treaty of Versailles gave Danzig to Poland as a free state. Poland asserted control over it, calling it Dansk. Germany said it's historically German, give it back. Poland said no. Hitler said, I declare war. It's very, much more complicated than that. But it's in the Holocaust Museum. I pulled up the articles what is Jon Stewart ragging on him for? But outside of that, what I can say right now is, guys, let's take Jon Stewart. I say we just, John, welcome to the club. You're allowed to have bad ideas. You're allowed to be wrong. We're all wrong. Let's have a discussion, and then you can go on your show and talk about how crazy these crackpot Democrats are.
Yeah. Excuse me. Jon Stewart is the fact that Jon Stewart is poking at Donald Trump a little bit, but really going after Joe Biden. It's reflective of the fact that Joe Biden is the president. Donald Trump may be running, but he's not currently in a position of authority at all in the government. It makes sense that you would go after the people that are actually in power, first of all. Second of all, it is abundantly clear to everyone that will even look that Joe Biden is entirely incompetent to be incapable of being the president and actually doing the job himself.
What's crazy is that Stewart's like a 70%er. I mean, he's with them 70% across the board. Now, I call him a true liberal, you know what I mean, a Bill Maher type. But what I'm saying is he's only off script a little bit, and they do not allow that. No. They do not allow that.
There's a meme I saw, it was pretty good. And it was a bunch of blue people, and there was a blue guy, and he was like, I agree with all of these things. And so I get these badges, and it shows all these different causes. And the next one is him going, maybe that one I'm not so sure about, and said child sex changes. And then they were all like fascist, white supremacist, and they taking all your badges away from you. It's like you deviate. It's a cult. I saw the serfs, our good friend Lance was ragging on someone because they saw a bunch of pride flags in a Walmart, in some department store with some big box store with a grill, and they were like, all I want is food, for heaven's sake. And I'm like, dude, in Frederick, Maryland, they're flying a pride flag at City Hall. That is a flag of an ideology. Now, if there's a historical American flag like the Gadsden flag, I'd be like, oh, whatever, I guess. That's like a state flag for Virginia. I think it's their license plate, so I get it. But a Rainbow Progress Pride flag, they even have in one store an eagle on it. I'm like, it's a cult. And they're flying the flag of a cult. If they were flying a flag of Islam or any other religion or Christianity, I'd also be like, that's kind of weird that they're doing that. They've basically found a way to fly a religious flag while arguing it's not a religious flag.
100%. Right. It's a religious flag. And the reason why you can't step out of line a little bit is because I don't know of any religion that's like God says a little sin is fine. Right? It's like if you step out of line at all, sin is sin to most gods that I've ever heard of. Usually it's either if you sin, it's all the sins are bad and they're equally bad. So to step out of line at all as a progressive or whatever, you're offending the religion. You're stepping out of line. It's unacceptable.
There are venial and mortal sins. I believe it's Catholicism. I could be wrong. It's in some form of Christianity. Venial sins are I lied to my neighbor, whereas a mortal sin was I had sex with my neighbor's the worst.
I know there's definitely passages that say that to God sin is sin. I know for a fact that the way the Christians look at sin, they say God says sin is sin. There's only one sin that they won't, or that I think Catholics that God doesn't forgive. I think forgive, and that's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, I think. But I know the Christians are sin is sin.